What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're going to be going through the brand new Sugo-Fest, which is going to be arriving on the 30th of August 2018, being the V2 Akainu and V2 Aokiji Sugo-Fest. Now, yesterday I did upload a video already showcasing what these characters already do. If you guys haven't seen it yet, click the card at the top of the video. Make sure to go ahead and check that video out if you guys don't know what these characters do. So, in this video, we're going to be just going through the whole Sugo-Fest structure, and then I'll give my opinions to you guys on whether or not you should be pulling on this specific Sugo-Fest. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. Obviously, just on the banner, it says, new Sugo-Fest exclusive Akainu is rate boosted for Part 1 and Part 2, and then Aokiji is boosted for Part 1 and Part 3. So you can see straight away there is going to be 3 parts to this Sugo-Fest. Int type Akainu and Psi type Aokiji appear as voiced Sugo-Fest exclusive characters, plus the newest super evolutions of Buggy and Kizaru are also available, as they have added the banners for these characters for their getting their super evolutions on the 30th as well, the exact same time that this actual Sugo-Fest goes live. And it says, what's more, all wanted posters are going to be 4-star or better, continuing on the trend with being a gold only Sugo-Fest only on global, which is great. So part 1, the new Akainu and Aokiji are rate boosted together, and then if you guys want a specific admiral, we're not too sure what the rates are currently. We only know the rates of a Sugo-Fest once the actual Sugo-Fest is live on the day, then we can check the rates for these characters. I would assume that if you wanted to get specifically Akainu or specifically Aokiji, you have a much better chance of pulling them on Part 2 or Part 3. Whereas on Part 1, they're going to be like equally boosted, maybe not as boosted as Part 2 or Part 3. And then just going on here, it just briefly explains what Akainu actually does, which I have already gone through. As I said, make sure to go click the card at the beginning of the video so you guys know exactly what these characters actually do. So it gives you a brief overview of both Akainu and Aokiji. So moving on now, all new characters will be trusty characters in an upcoming treasure map in September, which we already know is going to be treasure map Kizaru. So having these characters do help you against that, being trusty characters, and they are going to be significantly point boosted, you know, like 1.5 boosters most likely. And then obviously after that, it gives you more information about if you want to check the full boosted list of trusty characters, make sure to click the treasure map tab at the news here. And then also different trusty characters have different boosts depending on their treasure map, of course. And it only applies to their post-evolution versions of each of these characters. So if you do pull a brand new rare recruit of the batch or one of the new legends, it only gives them a point boost if they are the fully evolved version of those characters. And then to also go along with this, all of the new characters in the Sugo-Fest will have their base stats boosted by 1.25 times, and they'll get 6-turn cooldown reduction at the start of the quest against Colosseum Jesus Burgess, which is going to be arriving actually the day before the Sugo-Fest, I believe. So we are going to have these characters available to be boosted on the next day, so on the weekend when Colosseum Burgess is actually out. So that's when you can go ahead and use those characters against him. As we stated, this Sugo-Fest is going to be split up into 3 separate parts. Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3, with rate boosted characters changing every single part, and super evolution forms of Sugo-Fest exclusive characters that can be recruited are also available as 5-star characters. So 6+ Kizaru and 6+ Buggy are also available as legends that are pullable in their regular 5-star forms that can evolve into a 6-star and then a 6-star+. So technically you do have a much higher chance of pulling Buggy or Kizaru in this specific Sugo-Fest. So Part 1, as we said, starts on the 30th and ends on the 31st. Part 2 is the next day after that, and then Part 3 is the next day after that. It's a 3-day Sugo-Fest. Each day is a separate part of the Sugo-Fest, and your multiple counters will reset with every new part that does come along in this Sugo-Fest. So Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3, this is along every single part. The first multi-pull on all the parts is going to be a 30 gem multi-pull, so that's great. You know, all gold Sugo-Fest, and the first multi is 30 gems, so they are really trying to get you to pull, obviously. And then in, obviously, with all the other parts as well, I think all these structures, yeah, it doesn't actually change depending on what part you pull on. This specific structure of the Sugo-Fest is on Part 1, 2, and 3. So the next little note here, it says 3rd, 6th, and 8th multi-pull is guaranteed to be a legend. So it's not 3, 6, 9, it's actually 3, 6, and 8, which is pretty interesting why they're actually doing that. And then on the 4th multi-pull is going to be a guaranteed showcase character. So what a showcase character is, if you guys don't know, I believe when you go to the tavern, it's actually this little wanted poster next to Gaimon where it says expand character box. If you tap that wanted poster and it comes up with these specific characters, I believe these are the showcase characters. So when the SugoFest is live, you can click on this banner and check through all the characters that are available here, and I believe on the 4th multi-pull, the 11th poster is guaranteed to be one of those showcase characters, which that means if you do get a red, means that you could actually get Kuzan and Akainu versions 2 on the 4th multi-pull if your 11th poster is actually a red poster. Moving on the 10th multi-pull, last wanted poster is guaranteed to be a SugoFest exclusive, plus recommended rate boosts, recommended SugoFest exclusives will be rate boosted. So the rate up legends on part 1, 2, or 3, depending on what part you're pulling on, are going to be rate boosted even further on the 10th multi-pull on the last poster. And also on the 12th multi-pull, the exact same structure as the 10th. It's going to be, you know, recommended SugoFest exclusives rated up even further, and if you do get a legend there, which you are guaranteed to get a legend there, it comes at max special level. So that would be awesome if you pull, you know, one of the new characters or just a new legend and you get it at max special. That would be absolutely fantastic if you were lucky enough to get that. Now, part 1 recommended SugoFest exclusive, so these are all of the rated up characters for part 1, or the rated up legends for part 1. So both of the new characters, Akainu and Aokiji, Fateful Struggle, To the Death, Int, and side characters are going to be boosted. Also on part 1, Luffy and Ace dual character is going to be boosted. Legend Frankie will be boosted. 6-star plus Buggy and Borsalino are boosted. Shirahoshi, Fujitora, which I believe that's actually version 2 for Fujitora. Well, that's actually a pretty good list of rated up characters. I really wish that Global had multi-pulls that would guarantee you a rate up legend, because imagine just getting a guaranteed one of these characters. That would be so crazy. But the rate ups are actually pretty decent. I like that they are kind of straying away from the really bad legends now, because there were a lot of SugoFest where on the rate boosted characters you'd have characters that no one really wanted, you know, like Bartolomeo, Cavendish, even version 1 Doflamingo, who isn't really that needed anymore. You'd have some really weird rate boosted characters, but this list of boosted characters is pretty goddamn awesome. Moving on to the part 2 rate-ups, we have just Akainu will be boosted out of the 2 new Admirals. Then you have Buggy, Borsalino 6+ as well, Dex, Doflamingo, version 2 Doflamingo, Nico, Robin as well, Marco, Marshall D, Teach, Blackbeard, and also Dogstorm. So this one, in my opinion, doesn't have a really good boosted list. Dogstorm isn't really used that much nowadays. Blackbeard is still useful in some certain circumstances. Marco has been out for a long time. I'm sure a lot of people have him, but for those who are missing him, he's actually quite useful in certain pieces of content. And then you've got the good characters, obviously Nico, Robin, V2 Doflamingo, and then obviously the 2 other 6+ are boosted as well. And then on the 3rd part, we have Aokiji, Buggy, and Borsalino boosted again. Version 2 Shanks, of course, amazing. V2 Rayleigh, you've got Sai, Trafalgar Law, Usopp, and V2 Boa Hancock. I'm gonna say, out of all of the rate boosts, definitely part 1 is the day, if you guys are thinking about pulling, part 1 is definitely the best day to pull on, because a lot of these characters are so good. You got V2 Fuji, Shirahoshi, Frankie, Luffy, Ace, and the 2 Admirals rated up. Obviously, with all parts, you're gonna have Buggy and Borsalino boosted, but part 1 has amazing rate up characters. Obviously, if you already have all those characters, then you want to be pulling on one of the other ones, but man, that's a really good list of rated up legend characters, which will be rate boosted even further on the 10th and the 12th multi-pull. And then to go through the rare recruit characters for part 1, you've obviously got all of the new characters that are going to be boosted. You got Sengoku, brand new, Hina, and that's it, because there's only 3 rare recruits in this batch. But you've also got the Luffy Ace batch as well. You got Little Laws Jr., Marco, you got Senor Pink from the V2 Dofi batch, you've got Rebecca, Viola, Kiros, and then you got Reiju as well, 20th Sanji, Beppo, Marigold, Raizo. So some pretty interesting list of characters. Part 2 looks to be the same. That looks the same. It looks like there's a couple more characters at the bottom. You've got Reiju still, Nami 20th anniversary. You've got Marigold, Raizo, and then you got Pedro, Gecko Moria, Strength, Int Perona, and Sai Usopp. And then on part 3, you've got all the same characters it looks like, and then a couple more characters out at the bottom, Fukaboshi, Frankie, Brock, Beppo, Jinbei. Okay, so fair enough. Definitely part 1, in my opinion, has the best rate ups just for everything, really. So it says, after the first try, it will cost 50 rainbow gems as usual. So the 30 gem multi is only available for the first multiple on any of the parts. Every single other multiple will be 50 gems. And there are no additional rewards after the 12th multiple, so there's no real reason to keep going after the 12th multiple. And 10+1 rare recruit counter will reset when transitioning between parts 1, 2, and 3, which are only 1 day each. So after every single day, you can spend 90 gems and do 3 multis. If you just wanted to do part 1 of like the first multiple of part 1, 2, and 3, you can definitely do that. That's a pretty good way to conserve your gems, is to just continuously do the 30 gem multis. But that's the whole SugoFest structure. So it's all gold and different rate ups on each day. If you really want to get a specific admiral, I would recommend waiting for part 2 or part 3. However, the rate up legends for part 1 are immense, dude. You got both admirals, Luffy Ace, Frankie, V2 Fuji, Shirahoshi. You got some really good characters rated up on part 1. You've got some other characters right up on other days. Obviously with the Kainu, you've got Doflamingo and I think was it Rayleigh? Rayleigh was with Shanks. Who was it? Okay, yeah, so that's what it was. It was Doflamingo and Robin together with a Kainu, and then you got Shanks and Rayleigh with Aokiji. I like the fact that they put Shanks with Aokiji instead of putting Shanks with a Kainu, because obviously getting Shanks and the Kainu together is a really good combination. So they really wanted you to, try and pull on different parts, try to use up all your gems. But a lot of people are going to be asking, should I pull on this SugoFest? Now, we just came off of the Make It Your Own SugoFest, which I know was a pretty good SugoFest for a lot of people, and if you guys don't have any gems, well, obviously it's not going to be great to be pulling here, but you got to think about the bigger picture here, the fact that the next batch that should be releasing on Global, we don't know how they're going to be doing their structures. I would assume at this point that Gear 4 and Nami should be arriving after this batch, probably early October-ish, I would assume, but we don't really know how they're going to be structuring it, because it should be a very big SugoFest celebration. So Gear 4 and Nami is the next batch to arrive after the Admirals, according to JP releases, and that SugoFest was the best SugoFest in Treasure Cruise history. And I do think that will be coming very, very soon. However, these two admirals are game breaking. Like, if you get a Kainu, you're going to be destroying content for many, many months to come. If you get Kuzan, he isn't used as much as a Kainu, but is still a very top tier character even to this day, in my personal opinion. He's got a great captain ability, great special ability. So both of these characters are fantastic. And honestly, if you are free to play, just skip it. I don't think you should be pulling at all. If you guys spend a little bit of cash here or there, maybe just doing the 30 gem multis on part 1, 2, and 3, doing 90 gems, 3 multis, you're saving yourself 60 gems. It's a pretty good deal, honestly. So that's what I would do if I wasn't really spending too much money on this game, because, getting these admirals is going to be so key for, helping you beat content in the future just a lot easier. And then obviously, if you like to spend a lot of cash, then you can do whatever the hell you want. But I think that free-to-play players should skip this SugoFest, and if you don't spend that much money, but you spend a little bit of cash here or there, perhaps just doing the 30 gem multis on part 1, 2, or 3, depending on what characters you are looking for. But that is going to fully conclude this particular video, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and if you guys did, make sure to smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.